Welcome to the Enveos Podcast, where we share actionable insights on web design, SEO, paid advertising, and AI automation. Each episode is focused on practical strategies you can apply immediately to build smarter systems, attract better traffic, and scale your business with confidence. Today, we're diving into the AI marketing race. It's a total gold rush out there for businesses. But, choosing the right tool can be a bit of a double-edged sword. How do you find an AI that's a creative genius without also inheriting some hidden and honestly problematic biases? Let's break it down.
Yeah, we're unpacking the new gold rush in marketing, artificial intelligence. A recent Salesforce survey found that a staggering 83% of growing small and medium businesses are already using AI. Think about that. It's not some far-off future anymore. It's happening right here, right now.
But this explosion in use brings up a really critical question for any of us looking for that competitive edge. I mean, with this dizzying array of models, all screaming that they're the best, how do you actually pick a true creative partner? Which AI is going to be the one to generate those truly groundbreaking campaign ideas?
So in this explainer, we're going to cut right through the hype. We'll kick things off by looking at how you can even measure something like AI creativity. Then we'll reveal the top performing models, all based on hard data. After that, though, we're going to uncover a pretty serious hidden problem: AI bias. We'll look at the trade-off between performance and fairness, and then wrap it all up with a clear strategy for your business.
Okay, so first things first. How in the world do you test something as subjective as creativity? I mean, it's not like measuring speed, right? Well, researchers from Springboards.ai, with backing from industry heavyweights like D&D and the One Club, they actually developed a benchmark to do just that.
And they didn't just ask the AI to, give me some good ideas. No, they were way smarter. They prompted all these different AI models to generate 3 very specific types of creative output that perfectly mirror what a real ad agency does: a sharp, punchy insight, a solid campaign idea, and then, the fun one, a truly out there, wild idea.
Now this is the best part. It wasn't a machine grading another machine. We're talking about hundreds of human experts, real-world strategists, copywriters, and marketers who judged these AI ideas head-to-head. And as you can see from the actual interface they used, they had no idea which AI model created which response. That blind testing makes this whole thing feel incredibly grounded and real.
So, the big question. After they collected and analyzed thousands of these human ratings, which models actually came out on top? Which ones have the most creative firepower? Let's take a look at the results. This chart is pretty fascinating. It shows something called intra-model diversity for those wild ideas. Now, that's just a scientific way of asking how many different kinds of ideas can this AI come up with from the exact same prompt. A higher score is way better. It means the AI isn't just giving you slight variations of the same old. So what this all boils down to is that the data points to 2 clear frontrunners when it comes to raw, unconventional creativity. Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro Preview, it turned out to be a super dependable source of diverse and really well fleshed out ideas. And then you've got Anthropic's Claude 3.7 Sonnet, which also scored really high on diversity and showed a real talent for genuinely surprising concepts. Bottom line, if you need out-of-the-box thinking, these are the models to look at.
But just when we're ready to pick our winner and plug it into our marketing workflow, a second, equally important study comes along and reveals a major twist. Turns out the most creative AI might not actually be the most equitable one.
And this really gets to the heart of a huge challenge in AI. See, these models are trained on just massive amounts of text and images from the internet. And as we all know, the internet is just full of our own human biases. The AI learns these patterns, and if we're not careful, it can end up repeating and even amplifying them.
To figure this out, researchers Berk Yilmaz and Hutaifa Ashkar set up this really brilliant experiment. They prompted ChatGPT to generate 1,700 slogans, 100 for each of 17 different demographic groups, targeting different genders, ages, and income levels. They wanted to see if the language it used would change in predictable and, biased ways.
And the results they found? They weren't exactly subtle. The data revealed a really startling difference in the kind of messaging the AI was creating for different groups of people.
Get this. When the AI was generating slogans for women, the study found a 14% relative bias toward using empowerment terms. Words like empower, confidence, and success. Now compare that to the slogans it generated for men. The bias for using those exact same empowerment words, just 3.5%. That is a 4-fold difference. That's huge.
And this chart just makes that gap crystal clear. You can see that green line for women is way different from the red line for men, showing just how much more frequently it used those empowerment terms. So what does this mean for your business? Well, it means an AI might default to targeting women with emotional, aspirational messaging, basically reinforcing an old stereotype.
And the bias cut both ways. When it came to financial terms, the AI was much more likely to associate them with men. This chart shows how the AI has learned to connect more complex financial language with male audiences. And that could potentially limit the kind of information and opportunities it decides to present to other groups.
In the end, as the researchers themselves put it, these AI-generated slogans are just not neutral. The AI is tailoring its message based on demographic stereotypes that were baked into its training data. And without careful oversight from us, your AI could be running campaigns that feel outdated, or even worse, exclusionary.
Okay, so what is the big takeaway here? How do you use these incredibly powerful creative tools without falling into that bias trap? It's pretty clear that the best model isn't just about raw creative power, it's about having a smart strategy and some ethical oversight.
So here are the practical steps you can take right now to use AI's power responsibly. First, test different models for your specific needs. Don't just grab the biggest name brand. Second, and this is maybe the most important, treat AI as a creative partner, a co-pilot, not an autopilot. Your human judgment is still absolutely essential. Third, make auditing for bias a standard part of your workflow. And finally, look into what the AI developers themselves are doing to fix and mitigate these issues.
Ultimately, all of this leaves us with a really provocative question that every single business leader, marketer, and creator needs to be thinking about as we bring these tools into our lives. Is your AI going to be a tool for true innovation or just a high-tech mirror reflecting old biases? The choice, now more than ever, is firmly in our hands.